another window. I have to click the teams, then 2-3 windows. I have to come out, then I have to mute it. Things are not easy. It's not like Zoom where I'll mute all. So this option is not available for me. I have to come out of the main screen again. There I have to mute all of you. Please see that maximum unavoidable. Okay, but maximum intentionally don't like switch on your microphone because it's like a get added up lot of noise. Okay, so let me take a slab. This is slab. So let there be a ray. Let it pass through a slab. Let me take another ray which is passing through or external to slab. This is slab. Thickness of slab, let it be D. So here the surrounding medium in the slab, the light will propagate with a speed V1. Whereas in there, let it propagate with a speed V2. Is it okay? So there's a light. What do this arrow? It's a light propagating. Let mu be the refractive index of the slab. We know you go back to the ray optics, refractive index, something we discussed, no? Like when we ray moves from one medium to another medium, its speed will change. So what is the speed of light in any medium? By C by mu. What is the speed of light in air or vacuum? Similarly, here at T equals 0, the light we call this sin T, it will emerge out. The light will take some time. It will to pass through this slab. So what is the time taken? Let it be T. Similarly, in the same time, what is the distance covered by the light ray in air? That will.
Sir, your voice is not clear.
We'll do one thing. So how much distance it will cover here? Voice is not clear. Okay.
It's breaking in between, sir.
No.
It's breaking, sir.
Are you able to? Now also? Switch it off video, no? Your network is causing poor call quality. Try to switch into a better network. Or can you hear me now? Anybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Voice okay? No problem now? Shall I continue?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Fine. Thank you. Okay, this let the distance covered. Let the distance covered by the slab in time t. So we write that is V1t. So this will write it as Ct by mu. In the same interval of time, the distance covered by the ray in air. So that will calculate. So definitely it is moving with a speed, more speed, no? So it will cover some more distance than this. That T equals 0 entered at time t equal to 2, it will be here. Find this one, so it will cover a distance x2. So we'll calculate what is x2. X2 equal to, we write v2t or ct. So from substituting this here, ct I can write it as mu x1. Okay, now see here, no, if in a time interval, this one what, so let me write here. A medium of refractors, how much of distance it will move in air or in vacuum in the same interval of time. That is called like a mu d. This mu d is called like a optical path length of the ray moving in a slab. So how to interpret it? Simplest, shall I put in simplest way? Like if I move in a slab, I take a time t to move through this slab. I'll cover a distance d. The same in the same interval of time, how much I will move in air or in vacuum, it will be mu d. The optical path length of the ray moving in air. Or how to interpret in both the length. If a ray covers a distance d in a medium of distance mu in an interval of time, then
So
in the same interval
breaking.
it covers a distance mu d in vacuum. So this particular mu d is called like a optical.
Your voice is breaking, sir.
I'll make some adjustments. Now okay? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Some voice filter, I did adjustment. I don't know how far it will work. Can I continue?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll come from here. Like a ray 1 will move. So there's a, you can put like a ray 2. There's a ray 1. Ray 1 moves like a distance d through a slab. What is the thickness of slab? D in a time interval t. So what is the distance covered in this slab? We write it as x1 equal to v1t. What is v1? Speed of the ray 1 in the slab, which is c by mu. So ct by mu, what distance covered by the ray 1 when it moves through this slab. In the same interval of time that the ray which is moving outside this slab, let it cover a distance x2. What is the speed of the light in air or vacuum? Well, let it be say equal to c. So distance covered by the ray outside this slab will be ct, that one. So I'll replace that one. So I get something this one. So what is the meaning of this? Means if a ray covers a distance d in a slab or in a medium of reflectance mu in an interval of time t, in that same interval it will cover a distance mu d in particular. Mu d is called like an optical. Based on this is what we are going to do plenty of problems. Okay, is there any path difference between these two rays? Any path difference? It's the path difference. The path difference between the rays is called, I'll call delta x. I'll write it on top, which is equal to x2 minus x1. So what is x1? Mu d. What is equal to d then? So how much it will be? Mu minus 1 into d. So this is the path difference of the rays between when a ray moving through this slab and this one. So like this, what happen if I want to introduce a path difference between the rays? What shall I do? Just bring a slab of thickness d of refractance mu in the path of one of the ray. Then the two rays, what happen? They'll encounter. They'll encounter a path difference that we can calculate by this one. This is a formula. So what is d? D is the thickness of slab. That red color I indicated here. So how to define optical path length? They may ask definition in mains. You have to be very careful, even in advance also. What is the optical path length? If a ray covers a distance d in a medium of refractance mu in an interval of time, comma, in the same interval, the ray covers a distance mu d in vacuum. That mu d is called as optical path length of the ray. Okay, this is about the initial thing. What happens if the medium surrounding the slab is other than air, so other than vacuum? So suppose it's some liquid, let there be some liquid. Then how to calculate that optical path length or path difference between the rays? I'll move to the next part. Okay, there's a ray 1. It will pass through the slab. And the other ray, so what is the medium surrounding it? Let me write mu naught. So let it be liquid. The medium surrounding the and the slab. Refractive index of slab, let it be mu. Thickness of slab, let me take that is equal to d. At t equals 0, the ray will enter here. At t equal to t, it will do. So let v1 be the speed here. Let v2 be the speed. Again, similar condition will put. At t equals 0, the ray will enter here. Then after some time t, it will be available here. We'll calculate what is the path difference. There's a ray 2, 2 arrows I'm putting. Ray 2. This is a ray 1. Similarly, we'll calculate. So first we'll calculate what is the distance covered, x1. Speed v1, v2, first we'll define them. v1 is equal to c by mu. Then x1 equal to v1t, v1t, and v1 is equal to. Similarly, what is v2? v2 is the speed of the light in the medium, in the surrounding medium, that you can call as a liquid. So this will be c by mu naught. So what is x2 is equal to? x2 is equal to v2 into t. What is the value of v2? c by mu naught t. You write like this. Ct, let's replace there. From this, I'll replace Ct. x2 will be, Ct value will be x1 by mu naught. How you should interpret and what is x1? x1 is what? Say previous problem, mu naught if it is medium surrounding the slab is air, or say let it be equal to say some water, say like some vacuum, then mu naught will be 1. So if there is any surrounding medium, if there is any medium surrounding the slab, then that you have to bring mu naught in the denominator, that you remember like this. So what is the path difference? Path difference delta x is equal to x2 minus x1. So x2 will be mu d by mu naught. And what is x1? x1 is equal to d. Look at the diagram here. So this will be mu by if there's any medium surrounding this slab, the equation will come like this, mu by mu naught minus 1. If the medium surrounding the slab is air, so we just put mu naught equal to 1, mu minus 1 d will be the path difference between the rays. Now, very important, almost every numerical will be bringing a slab in YDC experiment. So we need a background of this one. So what you have to check, what is the refractive index of the slab, what is the thickness of the slab, and what is the medium surrounding the slab. That also you have to make observation. Okay, take this, we'll go for YDSC. Completed? Please somebody switch off, mute it. Huh? Okay, now let me introduce the slabs. So there are two slabs which I picked up. There is a slab of thickness T, I'll write it. So let me bring one by one first here. So there's a slit S1, S2. It is a source S is there. I'm going to introduce a slab here. Slab usually thickness will be of few micrometer. So let me introduce a slab in the path of the ray 1. Let's see what will happen to the pattern. What will happen to the pattern? And before that, if this slab were not there, okay, let me to compare all things. And now there's a thickness T. Instead of D now, I'll make thickness T. Change in symbol. D, what will happen? I'll be using for this distance between the slits. And this B, capital D. Distance between, and this is what will happen to pattern. We are interested what will happen to the pattern. What will happen to, yesterday we did some mathematics, no? So this will be delta X, this will be N, and this will be theta. The same calculations what we
Sir,
did.
there will
Same
also
thing,
be a shift in the light ray due to slab, sir. Should we consider that?
No. Please let me finish off topic. In the end of the topic, you can ask it. Huh? No, I'm in the beginning. Okay, no, don't. Let me finish off. Then you can, at the end of the topic, you can clarify doubt. At the end of the topic, I'm in the beginning now. Okay, now the ray will pass through the slab. The ray 1 will pass through the slab, and the ray 2 will be here. Okay, let Y be the. Right. So what are the questions like? What will happen to pattern? We are interested. So when a slab has come, so what is the refractive index of slab? Let me take mu. T is the thickness of slab. I'll make it clear. T is not time. Thickness of slab. Writing this equations is what the crucial. I already told you yesterday there are 90% of problems based on this. So here next what happened, I'll bring a slab out to write equation. So what is the path difference between the rays? Delta X dash, you write it. Total path difference, delta X dash, this should be equal to S2P. And where is this? Medium. So the source what happened will send a, what is the medium? Medium is area, no? So what is the wavelength of the light? Will be lambda. So the ray 2 what happened, where it will move in air, it will move from S2P minus. Look at the ray 1, a part of for some distance T what happened, it will move in a slab, no? So how to write equation? S1P minus T. What is S1P minus T? It's the distance covered by the ray 1 in where? In air. Remaining distance what happened, some T distance it will cover in slab. What is the equivalent path length, optical path length, mu T? Your chapter is old. If you are able to write this, I think you saw that one. So it's all about you have to learn how to write this condition. S2P is what? The path of the ray 2. Is it okay? That one. What about this one? Ray1 what when S1P minus T is what? It will cover path in air. Then it will move a distance T in slab. Then how much of equivalent in air? It should be mu T, optical path length. So we are writing mu T. So this I'll optical path length, I'll underline it. Okay, let's proceed for further calculations. Delta x dash. This will be minus of mu minus 1t. So now what is S2p minus S1p? That should be equal to delta x. Or this delta x dash, you'll get confused. The net I'll write it. So this bracket term is what? Delta x I'm writing. So mu minus 1 into t. So what is delta x from the geometry? So what you can write? Sine theta. Some mathematics, no? Sine theta, this will be theta. Sine theta equal to delta x by d. Delta x equal to d sine theta. As d very much less than capital D, this will become d tan theta. Further, this I can write it as dy by capital D. Okay, all of you, from yesterday's discussion. So delta x, what we can write it now? Dy by capital D minus mu minus 1 into t. So let's search for maxima. I'm interested to get the position of maxima. So therefore, n lambda is equal to dy max by d. So expression for y max will be n lambda capital D plus okay, I do have equation with the final equation. Now, what is this? This particular thing is called like a shift. This particular thing, I'll call it as a shift. I'll give a name for this. Shift that one. Shift of what? Shift of the pattern. The total pattern will shift. All things. The total pattern will shift here. Now let's locate a few things like I want the location of central maximum. This is the axis. We give name. First, I want the location of central maximum. What do you mean by central maximum? What should be the order of interference at central maximum? N equal to 0. Substitute n equal to 0. You will get position YCM. YCM equal to 0 lambda capital D plus mu minus 1 P capital D. So where the central maxima will be available somewhere here. Central maxima I'll indicate by so green color. So this will be the central maxima. Okay, find this one. So this is central maxima. You can just indicate it as CM. It will shift here. Now, further few things, sir. What is the order of interference at the axis? So what is the value of y? Yes, y is equal to 0 at this point, no? In this equation, substitute y equal to 0. Then you get the order of interference which is there at the axis. Put y equal to 0, then you get n is equal to how much? So order of interference at the axis. Let's go for order of interference with the axis. So that will be order of interference how to calculate that order of interference what happened at the axis means y equal to 0, substitute that. So n axis there, I think the capital D small d will get cancelled out now. So this will get mu minus 1 t by lambda. I am getting negative sign. What does it mean? That means the order which is lying below the central maxima will be available here. So this is what that n axis. Maxima, no? So maxima I'll indicate by some color. Green color, no? So this will be the order of interference with the axis. Like this, what happened? You can find out what all you want. So now few things like the total pattern will shift upward, the central maxima. So here we'll get like this maxima. What is the names you can give? You can give names like this. This central maxima, this will be B1, B2, B3, B4, or n equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, you can write it. Similarly, here also, first order bright fringe, first order, second order bright fringe, third order bright fringe, or n equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 also you can write it. Here, this minima what happened, I'm showing with white color here. In between this green colors will be the minima. Is it okay, all of you? This one. So I think this formula now the whole pattern will shift. If you put the slab at upper slit, the pattern will shift upward. So I'll put a one statement. When slab is placed at upper slit, the whole pattern will shift upwards. This is something very important here. So don't remember S1, S2, S7. If you put slab at upper slit, pattern will shift upward. All the things that one. Okay, now few small things let's analyze. Now what's happened to number of maximas? Well, it depends on thickness of slab. No, it doesn't depend on thickness of slab. You remove slab or put the slab, how many maximas must be there, those many maximas will be there. The mu or the thickness of slab will not determine number of magma. The number of magma again depends on what. So here nearby diagram only you write it. Number of magmas on either side of center. Total number of magmas will be 2n max plus 1. The formula remains same, that one. Okay, now what is the order of interference exactly at opposite to slit S1? So I want this. Here for namesake I wrote B1. Any order it can be. How to calculate that? The expression for y max, here what you should do, plus d by 2 you write it. Plus d by 2. Because y equal to 0 you're mentioning. If you measure y upward, it is positive. If you measure y downward, it will be negative. What is the order of interference exactly at a point opposite to slit S1? Put y max equal to plus d by 2, calculate n. What is the order of interference exactly opposite to lower slit S2? Here I'm asking. What is the order of interference? What we should do? Put y max equal to minus d by 2. So I can ask you at any point, what is the order of interference means the value of y should be substituted. Or at certain point, what is the order of interference? Substitute value of y, you'll get order of interference. Or if you put order of interference, you'll get the position of y. So either of things you can do it here. So how to calculate which order will be at any point on the screen? So substitute that value of y. How to indicate y? From the axis, you should measure y. Above the axis, y is positive. Below the axis, y will be negative. So the next part will be order of interference order of interference at a point on a screen opposite to slit S1. So what is the value of y? This y max will become d by 2. Substitute in that main equation. After substituting this, d by 2 is equal to n lambda. So this you can give any name, so that n dash you write it. N lambda capital D by small d plus mu minus 1 capital D by small d. Solve for this, you'll get that order. Similarly, I want ns1, I'll write it so that you'll come to know what is this. Similarly, if I want order of interference at a point on a screen opposite to slit S1, what I should do with y max? I should write minus d by 2. You'll get that order of interference. So like this, what happen? We can determine all this one. By putting a slab, the pattern will shift upward. Anybody having doubts, please clarify. I'll go for the next condition. This writing this equation is very important. I'm making clear. You are all solving YDSC problem just based on this writing equation. Any doubt, you can clarify. I'll proceed to the next case.
Produce a shift in the light ray, sir. So we are ignoring that thing, sir.
What shift?
Lateral shift.
You know, like thickness, this will be of micrometer, no? Thickness of, you
Yes,
just
sir.
go and check the lateral shift.
That
Thickness.
is what I'm asking.
Yeah, thickness of slab is of order micrometer. So that when you bring it here, no, hardly it will have any impact.
Okay, sir.
Completed. I'll go for the next condition. If I put slab at lower slit, what conditions will arise? Diagrams overlap. I'll come for next one. If I put slab at lower slit, what we have to do? Again proceed. I am bringing the slab at I'm bringing the slab at lower slit here. This will be thickness of slab T, refractive index mu, this S1. I'll illuminate this with a monochromatic source of light. Monochromatic light. The distance between slits is D. Distance between slit and the screen, let it be capital D. So there's a ray 1. Path difference delta x. Again the same writing equation. The net path difference is equal to. So what is like S2P minus T. Therefore the path covered by the ray 2 in A. Then it will cover some path in slab. It will cover a distance T in slab. Then optical path length equivalent, that optical path length of that is mu T minus S1P. This is the optical path length. So this should be equal to S2P minus S1P plus mu minus 1 T. So S2P minus S1. This is from geometry. Yeah? This is what delta X. This is due to slab, this path, this is due to geometry. This is a net path difference. Is it okay? I'm mentioning it things very clearly for you. Already we know delta X. Directly shall I write this is equal to dy by capital D. And we are searching for maximas n lambda mu minus 1 T. So the expression for y max will be n lambda capital D by D. Okay, no, and I'll adjust this one. So this will be, what is this? This particular thing will be a shift, no? Look at the pattern, it will shift downward. So what shall I do now? The pattern as it shifts downward. So where the central maxima will be below here, somewhere. So it's a rough indication. This will be central maxima. This will call order of interference at the axis. The green colors are maximas. In between the gap is called as minima. There's a condition. Okay, the green colors will be the maximas, in between gaps will be the minimas here. So we got this one. Now again the same thing. What is the location of central maxima? I want at what distance the central maxima will be from axis. What shall I do for this? Put n equal to 0, because what is the order of interference at central maxima? It will be 0. Put n equal 0, you get YCM is equal to 0 minus. What do you mean by negative here? Central maxima will be located below the axis. Similarly, I want order of interference exactly opposite to this one, NS2. So I should what in place of Y max, what I should write? Minus D by 2. I'll get NS2. What is the order of interference exactly opposite to slit S1? So write NS1. What is the order of interference at the axis? Put y equal to 0. So n axis will be equal to mu minus 1 T by lambda. I got positive value, you can see that one. Similarly, I want NS2, order of interference at that one. So for that, I'll put minus D by 2 here, then you'll get this one. So minus D by 2. I'll write next line, you'll get confused with this. Minus D by 2 equal to NS2 lambda capital D. Solve for NS2, you'll get the required answer. The order of interference exactly opposite to slit S2. at a point on a screen opposite to slit S2. So what is the general conclusion? If you put slab at lower slit, pattern will shift downward. If you put slab at upper slit, the pattern will shift upward. Then how much of shift? The shift value is given by mu minus 1 T capital D by J, where T is the thickness of slab. You can see the diagram. So just do make observation. What happened to number of maximas? Again, remains same. So nearby diagram, you better write it. It will be much useful for you. Total number of maximas on screen, D by lambda. This equation is very important. This is called like a path difference equation. All your entire numericals just depends on writing this. Once you know this, you know geometry, what to do, how to bring all that, you can manage everything. So this is, please think on it. In every problem, you should try for generating this equation. Okay, fine. This one.
Sir, is the slab placed perpendicular to the light ray?
Yes, it will be. Yeah. Thickness is so small, no? Like. Fine, I'll go for the next condition. Thickness will be of order micrometer. The slab usually will place it normal to that one. Completed. I'll move on to the next part. Let there be a now let's take a condition where the slab is at both the slits. Just give time. I'll move the below diagram. Let me place two slabs here. Thickness T, then T1, T2, and the refractive index, let it be mu1 and mu2. With the slit S1, S2, I kept a source. I want similarly the expression for the nth order maxima. Later on, let me indicate all. Okay, no, write equation. So write that path equation. Once you write path equation, it's over. We can manage the problem comfortably. So the ray emitted by this source, monochromatic source, is kept on the axis. First, it will pass through the slit S1. Then another ray will pass through this. So as this source is kept symmetrically, so we don't have any path difference before slits. After slits, there is a path difference. There is a m called delta x. Then what is the writing equation? So delta x net is equal to S2P minus T2. S2P minus T2 is what? The path covered in air. Optical path length when it passes through the second slab. This much minus S1P minus T1 is what the path covered by the ray 1 in air. Optical path length mu1 T1. So this should be equal to S2P S1P mu2 minus 1 T2 T1. We are searching for, this is due to geometry. So this is due to geometry, this is due to slab 2. This path difference is due to geometry. This is due to slab 2. This is due to slab 1. This is a net path. Net path difference. So this should be equal to, I'm searching for maxima, so n lambda dy max by d plus mu2 minus v1 t2. Again solving for similar way, the same thing. Similarly solve for y max, we'll get the required equation. So what is the expression for y max will be n lambda capital D by small d plus mu1 minus 1 t1 d by small d minus of whether pattern will shift upward or downward will determine the value of mu1 t1. Whether it shift upward downward pen, the value of mu1 t1 will determine. I can adjust the value of mu1 t1 in such a way that the central maxima can be the axis. It all depends on value of mu1 t1. Okay, this is about the when two slabs are brought. Just do make observation. S2P, so some correction is there here. S2P it is here. So I'll proceed next. We'll go for the next one. Now what I do is like I will so the till now what happened, the source was something we placed at some other point on the axis. No, let me shift the source. Any, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no, fine, yeah. I'll proceed here now. So now we discussed some problems where the source was where it was some on the axis, no? So I'm bringing a situation where the source will not on the axis. If not on the axis, then what we have to do here? This will be again. Let me adjust the diagram. Now I'll keep the source. So where is the source? Source will be here. Not on the axis. It is not on the axis. This is the axis. No? It is not on the axis. So again, all the questions, like first, what will happen to pattern, then how to get order of interference on the axis or at any point, then what is the shift, then what happened to number of maximas, all that one. So here, the ray emitted by this, first it will move like this. So the ray emitted by this is the ray 1, and the ray 2 look at the rays before slit they have path difference, after slit also they have path difference, so we have to consider both this, then we have to get expression for the path length here. Okay, I'll give all the dimensions. So this is slit S1, slit S1, this is slit S2, distance between slit and screen, distance between slits is S1, S2 is equal to D, vertical separation. With this, and this distance is E, and the source is at a distance L. What are the conditions? D very much less than D. Similarly, A very much less than L. Small d and A will be of order same, millimeter. D and L will be of order meters. So now we have to, let at point P, let they undergo interference. So we have to calculate the path difference of the rays arriving here. And this is a screen. Okay, let's proceed. We know something like in all. This will be additional path. It will cover, no? So call this as delta x2, path difference after slits. Come for this, look at the left side of the slits. S1, S2 are slits, no? This one. On the left side of the slit, which ray will cover more path? The ray 1, arrows, no? So we'll take some. Before slits, which ray will cover more path? Ray 1. So are you seeing the red color is what? Ray 1. Which ray will cover more path before slits? Ray 1. Which ray will cover more path after slits? The ray 2. So this additional path these two need not be parallel. These two lines need not be parallel. These two lines need not be parallel. Let me draw a line. Dotted line not possible. I'll go for one color line itself. Okay, are you seeing clearly? So these two lines are not parallel. Strictly, they're not parallel here. So so this distance is not equal to this one. Then these two yellow color and dotted line, they are not parallel. So this one. So how to, and this will be perpendicular again. This will be the perpendicular. So this additional path, the ray 1 will cover before slits. we have to calculate this delta x1 and delta x2. The net path difference is what? Shall I add up both or shall I take difference? I have to take difference. Delta x2 minus delta x1. It should be. How to calculate delta x1, delta x2? This, the mathematics already, what we know is like this is theta and this distance is d. Here also I'll put same dotted line. Okay, let's proceed from here. This will be theta. This will be the angle made by the, so again look at the condition. What is A very much less than L, no? So because of this, in the diagram it appears A and L are of same dimension, but A will be of very much less than L. So if you look at the practically, so the conditions will be this will be slit S1, S2. So what is the angle made by both the rays S1, S2 with horizontal? Will be same, will be equal. From that, what happen? I should derive a formula here. Okay, how to derive that formula? So I'll take help of this. So this will be this angle made by the ray. Here will be, let me call that as phi. This will be 90 minus phi. This will be phi. Or I'll take alpha something. And use some color. Let it be, say, alpha. This angle will be alpha. I'll arrange this delta x1. I'll write it. This distance will be delta x1. This angle, let me call alpha. If this is alpha, this should be the alpha. This should be the alpha. Even the angle made by this should be the alpha. This not needed. Will I agree this? What is the condition for this? Why I have to draw like this? Because the A very much less than L, no? One problem, if you can understand this one problem, you can manage, because where the source is not there on the axis. The reason for this, why we assume the thing like this. So this alpha, this will be 90 minus alpha. This is 90 here. This is M, this is N. This will be 90. At N, angle will be 90. So this angle will be 90 minus alpha, this one. So this should be 90. So this will be alpha. Okay, from this, so can we calculate now what is sin, like a delta x1, delta x2. So the net path difference, I'll write the equation. Keeping that equation, looking at the diagram, I'm going to write all the equations now. Okay, let me proceed like this. So the net path difference will be delta x net is equal to delta x2 minus delta x1. Why delta x2 minus delta x1? Because the ray 2 will cover more path after slits and the ray 1 will cover more path before slits. So I should take the difference in the path difference. So delta x2 already from geometry we know. Directly I write it as dy by capital D. Delta x1 how to calculate is what I'll take help of this delta x1. So let me do calculation. I'll come for this. So sine alpha equal to delta x1 by d. So what is delta x1? D sine alpha. As A very much less than L, sine alpha, we can write tan alpha. So delta x1 equal to d tan alpha. now look at this triangle. S, let me call this is O. Take this A. From the triangle OAS. So what is tan alpha? You can write it as A by N. So and what is delta x2? Delta x2 you can write from here this particular thing. This will be theta, no? So sine theta equal to delta x2 by d sine theta. The condition d very much less than d. Sine theta will become tan theta. So substituting this, tan theta delta x2 equal to d tan theta, or dy by capital D. Let me substitute all the values. So the net path difference is equal to dy by capital D minus dA by N. We are searching for maximas. So therefore this should be N lambda equal to dy max by capital D minus dA by N. So what is y max is equal to? No. N lambda capital D by small d plus A capital D by ND. Anybody? What will happen to pattern? Will it shift upward or downward? We have to look at this equation and we have to conclude. Pattern, I'll bring the equation. Pattern will shift, as pattern will shift upward. Put n equal to 0, where the central maxima will be. First, I'll start with YCM. For n equal to 0, YCM, I'll get the position of this one. For n equal to 0, I'll get not center of mass, central maxima. YCM is equal to A capital D by L small d. I got positive. So therefore, where the central maxima will be above the axis. So the total pattern now will shift upward. If the source lies below the axis, pattern will shift upward again. So the central maxima will be somewhere here. We don't know exact upward to slit S1. So there's a location of central maxima. The next other things, higher order interference, no, 1, 2, 3, n equal to 1, n equal to 2, 3. Not n equal to 4 will be, I'm just roughly I'm showing that one. Maximas will be like this. So this is the axis. So if the source lies below the axis, the pattern, the central maxima will lie above the axis. Again, the same mathematics will follow. What is the order of interference at the axis? So what shall I do? Put y equal to 0, then you get order of interference at the axis. To calculate order of interference at the axis. So I should put y equal to 0, no, at axis. What is the order of interference? So at axis, order of interference y will be 0. Y equal to 0. So 0 equal to n axis lambda capital D plus A capital D by small d minus A and this will be N.
Small d y.
The small
Y
d will
max.
not be there. Small d. Lambda will be there. This will be order of interference at the axis. It depends on AL, the ratio of A by L, and this lambda. Capital D, small d here will cancel out. So what order of interference will be there at the axis? No, you can ask like in anywhere, see anywhere on the screen, opposite to slit S1, put y equal to plus d by 2. Opposite to lower slit S2, put y equal to minus d by 2. So like this, if this source lies below the axis, you have to use this formula. I think in exam you don't get this much of time to draw a diagram. Straight away you must know the formula here. In exams you have to straight away you should write this formula. I'm making things clear. For exam you should well prepared. You should begin with this formula. If slab comes, I'll tell you what has to be done.
Order of interference small d by L lambda.
Ah, yeah, that one. Order of interference, number of maximas. That's all.
At the axis, it should be small d by L lambda. You missed d.
Small d, capital D will cancel out.
No, sir, small d will be present as the numerator.
D should not be there in YCM, sir.
Okay, I'll check it. I'll check it. YCM. I'll check the equation. D by expression for Y max. No, Y max will be okay. Small d will not be there here. No, I'll make correction. Okay, fine. Yeah. Y max equal to n lambda capital D by small d is a plus. It will be a capital D. Here one small d will not be there. Okay. Then YCM will be a capital D small. Next, order of interference. So here one, this D will not be there, no? Okay, now fine, check it. I think, okay, yeah. Yeah. Just all of you make correction. Those who took screenshot, no, you delete it and go for new fresh one. Huh? Okay, now come for what happened to number of maximas. I'm still saying that d by lambda only. Yeah? It will not depend on position of source. This is very important. You move the source below the axis, above the axis. That will not determine number of maximas. The number of maximas depends on the ratio of the distance between the slits and the wavelength. Well, it depends on the distance capital D between slit and screen. No. Practically, you can justify, or what happened from mathematics only, you can just show that. Because theta, like suppose say number of maximas are 5. What do you mean by that? Central maxima, not in this case. Not in this case. If the source is on the axis, I'm just saying that one. So if number of maximas are 5 means what happens? Central maxima will be that axis. Then 5 maximas you have to put it. When will the fifth maxima? Theta equal to pi by 2 at far away. That's what we mean to say here. Okay, now if the source is moved below the axis, number of maximas will remain same. This I'm making things very clear. Okay, now I want to bring the pattern down. Source, let it be there only. I want to shift the central maxima then. I want to bring the pattern down in such a way that central maxima should be there at the axis. What shall I do for this? Go back to the slab concept. To shift the pattern up, what you should do? You should put slab at upper slit. To shift the pattern down, what you should do? You have to bring the slab, you have to put the slab at lower slit. So now the central maxima should be brought back to the axis. So what shall I do now? So I should now put a slab at the lower slit. So I just asking you now what should be the thickness of that slab. I'm continuing this. This concept is not over. To bring the pattern back to the lower slit. To bring the pattern back to bring the central maxima at the axis. So what should be the thickness of slab I should place and where I should place? This will be the question. So next year, in the above discussion, in the above problem, if the central maxima, if the central maxima has to be shifted to the axis. What to do? Don't move the source, huh? But what to do is what the question mark we are introducing. So let's see that what conditions will arise here. All of you. So I'm just starting with this particular question. From the above discussion only we are proceeding. So where the source was somewhere here. The source was here. So a ray 1 and this will be the ray 2. Ray 1 will cover this much of path. Okay, this is the path covered by the rays like this. So let me indicate clearly. S1, this S2. Now where I should bring this slab? I should put the slab at lower slit. The slab should be kept at the lower slit. Okay, all of you. So these are the slab is placed such that it will pass normally. That I'm unable to show in the diagram. So what should be the thickness of that slab? And the refractive index, let it be. Are able to see all of you? I brought why the slab should be at lower slit. We know that if a slab is placed at lower slit, the pattern will shift downward, such that the central maxima where it should lie, it should axis. This is a condition given for us, such that the central maxima should come at the axis. Okay, for that, now we'll discuss the cases. This is n equal to 0. The source is here, the same dimensions, we didn't change anything. So again, the mathematics, from the mathematics, it will be theta, call this is alpha. This alpha, this theta. You recollect back the mathematics what we discussed. From that only I am directly write. Let me write it. And now you just be careful. Again, the writing that path equation is very important. So what is the best way, like how to proceed? Delta x net is equal to. So don't jump to writing formula directly. Better follow the procedure here. So what is the procedure? What it says that F2P. So everywhere it is A. And what is the lambda? Lambda is the wavelength of light in here. This is a monochromatic source. No, S2P. What is the thickness of slab? Minus T. It will cover some path, some length. It will traverse in the slab, and optical path length will be mu T. Minus S1P. This is everything after slits. Before slits, then we will cover more path after slits, the ray 2. We'll cover more path after the ray 1. So that it should be and right delta x1. So it should be mu Delta x1 directly we know, shall I write it as dA by small l, like previous what we discussed. S2p minus SP. This is what path difference due to geometry will become delta x2. This is what you can write dy by capital D. But what was the condition that was asked? The central maxima should come where? Should be here. The central maxima should come here. This was the condition given. No? So what should be the value of y here for that to happen? Y should be 0. Y should be 0. And what is delta x net? At central maxima, what will happen to the net path difference of the rays arriving there? Should be 0, no? So I'm going to write this is 0, d by capital D, this will be 0, mu minus 1t. So what is the thickness of the slab? D by dAl by 1 mu minus 1. This should be the thickness of slab. L it is. Is it okay? No. So again, the priority. Everyone should put effort in writing such equations, because rest all mathematics we can manage. This is the before slates. So it's shall I put in simple way? You want to shift the pattern down, put slab at lower slit. You want to shift the pattern up, put the slab at upper slit. That's all. Over. So this should be the thickness of slab to bring that one. What actually happened? So you may find little bit difficult, or you could, if you could have used some common sense instead of so much of mathematics. The same thing. You could have proceeded like this. The same discussion I'll continue. So this was our source, no? Yes. So the ray 1 will go like this, because we are discussing at central maxima to be at axis, no? So bring the ray here. The next, the ray 2, it will pass through this. This is a ray 1. This is a ray 2. Clear this. So this is a path difference. It will be having here. Call delta x1. What are the path difference due to slab? The slab is here, no? Okay, so now see things here. This actually you could have thought in this way, and you could have avoided some mathematics. So to save time, you can analyze like this also. Nothing wrong. This distance is what? E. This distance is L, and S1, S2 is equal to the conditions given. I think it's quite clear, no? The path difference, which ray will cover more path before slits? Ray 1. Which ray will cover more path after slits? Ray 2. So therefore, I should increase the path length of the ray 2, no? So therefore, what I'm doing is I'm bringing a slab in the path of the ray 2. So that will see that if the path difference what the ray 1 has gained before slits, that much of path, additional path. If the ray 2 gains after slits, then the net path difference of the rays are having here will be 0, and we do get here central maximum. Means now you can ask questions. Central maxima can I shift wherever I want? Yes, you can do adjustment in such a way that central maxima you can shift wherever you want. I think this will be much easier to know what the path difference. So this the total mathematics should be delta x1 should be equal to path difference offered due to the slab. So what is delta x1? Delta x1 will be dA by L. This should be equal to mu minus 1 into T, where T is the thickness of slab. Got this? So this is one simplified way of doing things. If they ask you something, anything more, no, you come for the first method. But the objective question, I think, comes now, you can wind up like this only in a very simple way. I'll just take you to the first discussion what we made. Okay, that yellow color what I shaded, so this will be very important. Almost every numerical, the same procedure is what I'm following, you see. Okay, the same thing, just we are discussing only central maxima. Now I'll ask you a question. I want central maxima exactly opposite to slit S1. What shall I do here? I want here central maxima here at this particular point. What shall I do for that? It's not that at axis only. Here come for this. We wanted central maxima to be at axis, no? To be at axis. That's why the y we have put it 0. If I want central maxima opposite to slit S1, what I should do? Y I should write it as d by 2. Y I should write it as d by 2. And what should be the value of n? N should be equal to 0, that one. Then I should solve for this. The same problem. I'll copy this because I need this. Well, I'll continue from here. We have already one diagram. Now, what is the next condition? The next condition such that the source is here. And this will be the ray 1. This will be ray 2. The same thing. A strict condition, the central maxima should be exactly opposite to slit S2. It should be brought here. So for that, what condition? What has to be done? This is a slit S1, capital D. This will be lambda D. This is source, and this is A. Okay, now we'll proceed like this. So the medium surrounding everything, let it be A. What is delta x? So we'll proceed with the formula. So I need a slab. I will take help of a slab. With the help of a slab, I'm going to pull down the pattern. So definitely what happened? The central maxima was somewhere above. So you can ask question, how do I come to know that where I should put a slab? I think you have to be alert. In the very first initial case, where central maxima is here, I think you have to be extra careful. Huh? I'll take you back. It's not like some blind way you can proceed here. If I think this was the diagram, no? Come for this. If central maxima, all of you just look at this one. If central maxima lies above S1, if it were somewhere here in this calculation, I just put it here. If it were somewhere here, then what when I should pull it down, no? So where I should put a slab, I should put a slab here at the lower slit. If central magma were lying, if the central magma were lying below S1 in the diagram, so where I should put a slab? If I put slab at lower slit, what happened to pattern? Will shift further down, no? So is it okay now? So where central magma is there in this diagram? It all depends on the values, sir. I just made a guess here. The value of A, small d, capital D, and the value, all those 5 values will determine where central maxima or the position of central maxima, YCM. So this YCM, we have equation. So YCM what means A, capital DL. This will determine if the central maxima is above the slit S1, then you have to put slab at lower slit to pull it down. The central maxima lies below the slit S1. To bring it exactly to opposite slit S1, what happens? You have to put slab at upper slit. You do have problems of these kind of where a student has to be alert. Unless you don't locate exact position of YCM, means is it YCM greater than D by 2 or less than D by 2? I think that matters. So now what we have to do is, I'll just proceed with the mathematics. The same thing I'm continuing, some different case I took here. So this should be n lambda, you write it, dy by capital D, mu minus 1, t minus d by. So for the location of central maxima, put n equal to 0, d, and we want exactly at d by 2, opposite slit S1, mu minus 1 t. I'm just assuming that the slit is what I'm putting. Just I'm making a guess. You have to really verify the problem. Huh? The complete problem you have to change. I'm just assuming that the central magma is above, but in a slab at a lower slit. I'm just giving rough idea. Okay, now calculate the width of the slit from here, thickness of the slab. Solve this, you'll get this one. So this will be T is equal to DAL mu minus 1 minus D square by 2 mu minus 1. Okay, fine. So this is the one way of asking questions for you. Why should be plus D by 2? Because you want it upper slit. So this should be that value here. Now similarly, if source is above the axis, what to do? Let me finish off this so that you can work out many numericals on these things. Where I placed the source above the axis. Then again the ray, one will cover a path. This will be this. So this will be the slit S1. The same configuration. This will be A. This length, let it be N. So we will cover more path after slits. The A2 column. We will cover more path before slits. Again the same. The A2 only. How to calculate this path difference? So this is what the delta x1. The same geometrical ideas is what we have to bring it here. Now again, you take the reference line. Some reference lines we took it, no? So again, what is the basic condition? A very much less than L, D very much less than capital T. So what is the angle made by SS1, SO and SS2 with horizontal? Will be same that one. Will be same. So from that, I'll call this is alpha. This will be theta. How to bring that? You directly proceed from here. You directly proceed with this. And the same. I'll erase delta x1. Angle made by it, let it be alpha. Here also it will come alpha. Alpha, it will be, this will be alpha. So then we'll get the delta x1. So what is the sine alpha? You can write it. Sine alpha equal to this. We are discussing for this part. Yeah. From the triangle S1n, from triangle S1n S2. From this triangle, what is sine alpha will be delta x1 by d. What is the distance? Vertical distance S1 S2 is equal to d. So delta x1 equal to d sine alpha. As d very much less than L, this will become tan alpha. So what is delta x1 equal to dA by L. Straight away, I think you can remember directly in exam what you have to search for where is A, where is L. Source below the axis or above the axis and what things they're given. Straight away you have to proceed with the formulas. I'm reminding again and again. In exams, don't do any much experiment. If the slit S1 S2 are not lying in vertical line, okay, some different geometry we have to apply. As long as they're vertical, no, the geometry will remain same. Again, the delta x2 is similarly d sine theta. D tan theta. So take help of this triangle on this side. So now what is the net path difference you should write, which ray will cover more path before and after, ray 2 only. So the total path difference you are going to add. This will be dy by d, this will be dA by L. Let's search for maximas. So this will be, I'm searching for maxima, then this will become dy max by d minus dA by L. So when you solve for y max, n lambda capital D by d plus A capital D by so look at the central maxima now. Where do it is lying? Okay, this is plus, this will be negative, no? Put n equal to 0. So central maxima will come below the axis. Very important. We do have SHM problems also based on this. With the axis. Okay, fine. Again, the order of interference in the axis, the same method. Again, to bring the central magma to the axis, what you should do? Put the slab at upper slit. See, you want to shift the pattern up, put the slab at upper slit. You want to shift the pattern down, put the slab at lower slit. Pretty sure. There's a golden rule which you have to follow here. And maximum the geometry part. Now, sir, what if this A not very much less than a D, not very much less than capital D? Then use geometry and get the path difference. You do have some problems on this. Suppose it is equal to 2D, this is equal to say some D. If A equal to, what to do if it is like this? A equal to D and L equal to 3D. Use basic geometry and calculate the path difference. Use basic geometry and calculate the path difference. Okay, fine. So some numericals are there in material, so you can take help or even in most of the basic books are there of this kind. Okay, you can work out now most of the numericals based on the mathematics what are given. So almost maximum numericals today you can work out. Next class we'll continue further cases, we'll discuss what happens if some liquid is brought between the slit and screen or before slits, after slits, what conditions have to be done. Okay, thank you all of you. I will post all these things in your MS Teams only. There, do check, upload class material, there only it will be available. Rather than giving link, no, that I'll post it physically. I posted some pictures and videos also. Please do check.